I want you to ask yourself right now, are you limiting who you are and what you can be and how you act in this world because of what you think you are? That is to say, if you believe you're a person who's quiet, if you believe you're a person who is not confident, are those limiting beliefs? Are those beliefs that will cause you to act in a certain way, to represent yourself in a certain way in life? Yes or no? Because is it true that you are inherently that way? Or is it something that you can change? You see, I believe that we can be more fluid, all right? I can choose to be quiet. I can choose to be loud. I can choose to be expressive. I can choose to be reserved. It's really a matter of what I accept and what I choose to believe in myself. And on an energetic level, what I perceive as something to grasp onto. Now, I think something that especially people struggle with is people who have gone through a spiritual experience or transformation. Because once you perceive yourself to be a spiritual person, the only thing that happens is that your ego becomes a spiritual ego in the sense that you are still this ego. You're still believing that you are this person. The only difference is you believe you are somewhat better, or you have labeled yourself another thing. And this can be very dangerous because there can be a game, especially with the commodification of certain spiritual aspects such as yoga and meditation and stuff like this. Some people can take on the identity or the belief that they are better than another person because they have had certain spiritual experiences, or they believe certain things, or this or that. And this simply is just ego. This is spiritual one-upmanship. And we even see this in religion, and it's gone back, many centuries, where certain religions or people or beliefs, ideologies will say, oh yeah, what they're saying is great and all, and blah, 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 it's all one truth. But what we have over here, what we teach is even more true. It's even more correct, or even more close to God. Do you see that one-upmanship, that need to try and be above something else? What is that? What is that that urge, that egoical drive to grasp on to something, to try and be better than anyone else, to compare yourselves? Because when you realize what you truly are, when you realize we are all one, you will realize this is an illusion. This I am better than this. Who are we talking about? We are all one. And so I think that's something that people can get caught in the trap of on their spiritual journey, is that they believe that they are a spiritual person. So even if they're going about their daily practice, even if they're going about, methodologies and means to try and attain a certain spiritual attainment, they get caught up and stuck on the ideology of being a spiritual person. And of course, that changes the way they act in the world. It limits them. Just like someone who believes that they are shy limits themselves. A person who believes that they are spiritual can also limit themselves in what they believe that they are allowed to do. Right? If you are a spiritual person, are you allowed to say curse words? Or if you say a curse word, are you automatically not spiritual? If I give you the finger right now, does that make me not a spiritual person? And who even is the spiritual person? What does that even mean? What differentiates a spiritual person, non-spiritual person? What makes me different than anyone else? This is one-upmanship. And so it's something that you should pay attention to and recognize if you are doing that in your own life. But not only that, how what you believe about yourself limits you and your own beliefs. Because here's the thing, I personally understand those beliefs and those limiting beliefs and how they can stop us, especially when it comes to being a spiritual person. All right. Don't get me wrong. am very selective about the people and I choose in my life and, the friends and just who I let in my energy, in my environment. Right. But I think that just because I'm protective and because, a spiritual person doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have friendships, doesn't mean I'm not allowed to make connections in life. Doesn't mean I have to be the hermit. Just because you are a spiritual person does not mean you have to go up in the mountains and meditate your whole life. You can still do your daily practice. You can still pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue or what you perceive you are pursuing. And I think a lot of people they believe that they are spiritual, so they're not allowed to have physical possessions or have money or this or that. It's all an illusion. It really comes down to, what do you believe is possible for yourself? What do you believe you are? How do you believe you can behave? What will you allow yourself to behave and do? And so when you let go of all this, what is left but authentic divine expression? What is left but the authentic playing out of the universe? And so that is something that, when it comes down to morality, is something that we all determine in our own heads what is right and wrong. What may be right or wrong for me may be different from someone else. And of course, there's a collective morality, things that we certainly agree on as a society, as a collective, that are good and bad. But one average person might say drinking alcohol is good. The spiritual person might say drinking alcohol is bad. Now, whether decide to partake in that is up to you. But understand how certain mindsets limit what a person will allow themselves to do. And so when you ask yourself, what am I allowed to do? The answer is everything. And there shouldn't be a fear about, what if I do something wrong? What if I don't, put these barriers upon myself and what I'm allowed to do? Like, do you think you're really going to be a bad person if you let go of those boundaries and barriers and just let yourself be? Think you're going to turn into a monster? You should know yourself better than that. I don't think that. I don't think that. Rather, when you let go of those barriers, those beliefs, those ideas, and you just let yourself be, you'll see how freeing it is and how natural everything flows, even within yourself, even within your everyday life. Because you're not caught up in what you think you're supposed to be, or what you think you're supposed to be doing, or what you think is supposed to happen. And so when it comes to morality, like, even I uploaded a video yesterday where I did something by helping out a homeless person, and I thought it would be the right thing. But it made me feel bad about doing it because of the reaction that I got. And that is to say, because I think I'm a good person, I'm supposed to do that. But really, I was giving too much of myself. That was the real truth of that situation. The truth that was not blinded by the filter of identity and ego. So take some time to think about that, meditate on it, just analyze your own beliefs and what you think you are. And I hope that it gives you some insight. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. And if you would like to join me on a guided meditation, I'd love to see you there. There's a link in the description down below. Do it every week on my Patreon. It's a good time. But yeah, like a video if you hear, you know what I'm saying? Let me hear from you in the comments. One love.